My name is Ali. I am 29 years old and I live in Abuja, Nigeria. This is my story about love, betrayal, and heartbreak. I never thought I would go through something like this, but life can be unexpected. It all started one afternoon at the mall. I went to buy a few things when I saw her Halima. She was more than beautiful, she was breathtaking. Her skin was golden and smooth, glowing under the sunlight. Her figure was perfect curves in all the right places, a slim waist and a graceful walk. Halima's hair was long and shiny, falling gently down her back. She dressed in a classy way that showed she came from a rich family. Her outfit wasn't flashy, but it was elegant. Her eyes sparkled and her smile was warm and soft. I couldn't stop looking at her. I built up courage and walked up to her. My heart was pounding as I said hi. She looked at me and smiled, and in that moment, I forgot all my nervousness. We talked for a little while, and before leaving, she gave me her number. I couldn't believe it. That night, I sent her a message, and she replied quickly. From that day, we talked every day. We sent texts, had long phone calls, and stayed up late chatting. Her voice was sweet, and she made me feel like the happiest man in the world. The more I got to know her, the more I loved her. Halima wasn't just beautiful, she was smart, funny, and kind. She listened to me when I talked about my dreams and challenges. She made me feel special, like I had finally found someone who truly cared about me. We started going out often. We met at parks, restaurants, and cafes. Halima always looked amazing. Her perfume filled the air, and her smile made me forget my worries. Every time we were together, I felt lucky. I thought I had found the one, but something felt off. There were times when Halima's phone would be off for hours. I would send messages and call her, but she wouldn't reply until much later. When I asked her about it, she always had an excuse. The battery died or the network was bad. I believed her because I loved her. Even though we had been dating for 2 months, I had never been to her house. She always had a reason why I couldn't come. Soon she would say, "You'll meet my family soon." I didn't want to push her, but I started feeling uneasy. I told my best friend Ibrahim about Halima. He listened carefully and then asked me, "Have you met her family?" "No," I said. "Ali, this doesn't feel right. You need to find out what's going on." I didn't want to believe anything bad about Halima. She was perfect to me, but the doubt in my heart grew stronger. Ibrahim suggested we follow her one day to see what she was hiding. I felt bad about it, but I needed to know the truth. A few days later, after one of our dates, Ibrahim and I waited outside the restaurant. Halima got into her car and drove off. We followed her, staying far enough behind so she wouldn't notice. She drove into a rich neighborhood and stopped in front of a big house. The house was beautiful, with tall gates and expensive cars parked outside. I watched as Halima stepped out of her car. Then I saw him. A tall, handsome man came out of the house. He walked straight to Halima, smiled at her, and kissed her forehead. My heart sank. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. She smiled back at him and held his hand as they walked inside together. Ibrahim put his hand on my shoulder and said softly, "Ali, she's married." I couldn't move. My chest felt tight and my mind went blank. The woman I loved, the one I thought was my future, already belonged to someone else. That night I called her. My voice was shaking as I asked, "Halima, are you married?" She was silent for a moment, then said in a quiet voice, "Yes, Ali. I'm so sorry." Her words hit me like a brick. I hung up the phone and sat in silence. My chest ached and my mind replayed every moment we had shared. The laughter, the dates, the sweet words, all of it felt like a cruel joke. For days I couldn't eat or sleep. I stayed in bed, lost in my thoughts. I couldn't understand why she had done this to me. Why would she make me fall in love with her when she knew it could never work? At my lowest point, I thought about ending it all. The pain was too much. But then I thought about my family and my faith. I started praying, asking Allah to give me strength. Slowly I began to heal. Ibrahim stayed by my side, reminding me that life doesn't end because of one heartbreak. With time, I found the courage to move forward. Even now, the memories hurt. I still think about her smile, her laugh, and the way she made me feel. But I also remember the lies and the betrayal. Halima, you broke me in ways I never thought possible. To anyone listening, be careful with your heart. Not everyone who seems perfect is who they say they are. Love can be beautiful, but it can also destroy you if you're not careful. With faith, time, and support, The pain will pass. Allah is always there to guide us even in our darkest times.